Hey friends, click the like and subscribe button below and leave a comment with any questions. I want to talk about silver and gold and platinum to an extent as well. And I want to talk about the idea of the shit hits the fan scenario that gold and silver lovers like me, I'm a gold and silver lover, like gold and silver lovers love to talk about the shit hits the fan scenario from, from some kind of collapse of the financial system to basically to a complete collapse of civilization. I'm talking about Walking Dead, making Walking Dead look like it's London, like sophisticated downtown London, that kind of collapse where it's everything's shitty, everything's fucked up, everything's bad. So there's a spectrum to it, right? From the financial system collapse all the way to deep shit hits the fan. And what bothers me with silver and gold bugs and gold lovers, silver lovers, and I'm one of those, is that it's not prudent. It's not prudent to take that entire spectrum as one thing. It's not prudent at all. It's not wise. Wise people wouldn't do that. Wise people would break up that spectrum immediately. They would not even for a second allow themselves to take that spectrum as a whole. That's simple. That's basic. And a good prudent investor who actually has some money to invest, either in equities and crypto or in gold or silver, that kind of investor, a prudent one, a wise one, that wants to be around for the long term, they wouldn't take that spectrum as a whole. They'd chop that spectrum up immediately and they'd see things at a far more granular level. Now, granularity is key. Granularity is so important in many cases where we find comfort and we almost fetishize thinking of things in broad swaths, these broad pictures. But that's not how the world really works. This spectrum that I'm about to lay out for you, from a small collapse of the financial system to, again, a truly shit hits the fan scenario, the kind of shit hits the fan scenario that would make apocalyptic shows and movies similar to The Walking Dead look like the most civilized society. Like, oh my god, if I could only be there, that would be okay. That's a great place to be. That kind of bad place I'm talking about. On that spectrum, as you're walking towards more and more darkness, evil, and misery, you have to break it up. You just got to break it up. So, and for me, I break it up like this, right? So we have the spectrum, the financial collapse where civilization is still there, and where you still have like markets and employment is around, and governments are still around, and you have the basic structure of society and civilization. That's where I kind of draw the line. Beyond that, where we have true collapses of a society and civilization order, I don't see gold. I view it differently. Whereas like a lot of these gold lovers, they love to talk about the entire spectrum as one thing. I can't see it that way. I see the defining line when I cut it and break it up, and I see that once we get past that line, the line of where things start truly collapsing, where you can't count on being able to buy food at the grocery store anymore, where you have to really rely on yourself and your family more. That dividing line, that's where gold and silver becomes less useful. It may be useful if all equities, if everything goes down, right? Say all equities, everything goes down. Maybe 10 ounces of gold or 100,000 ounces of silver, maybe that'll buy a house for you. When you still have property rights, when you still have courts, when you still have real estate agents and escrow agents and lawyers and an entire legal system and framework to do this fake, totally fake, completely not based in reality, a completely imaginary story called property, called owning something, completely false. A beautiful, amazing thing, a truly beautiful, gorgeous thing that allows us in Western civilization, and specifically North America, and very specifically in America, in the United States of America, to live wealthy, to live well. Property rights allow us to allow society to act in ways that make us rich as a society, right? Obviously, there's a lot of people that are suffering and that are just left out, and there's so much fucked up with this society. So much fucked up that I could talk about in 100 other videos. But we do have this thing called property rights. We do have the system, this framework. Without that, everything's gone, bro. Without that, everything's gone. If you don't have this framework, if you don't have the cops, who's gonna protect your property rights? What's gonna happen when somebody comes and tries to take over your home? Somebody tries to come into your house. Are you gonna call the cops? Say there's no cops. Say there's no phones. Say there was no internet. Say there's no electricity. No government whatsoever. If you can't defend your house physically, you're gonna have to get the fuck out of there. And that's probably what's gonna happen once we get past that line. So past that line, I don't see the value in silver or gold anymore. They just seem to become just a burden in a way. But before that line, they are they are valuable and useful. Let me use an example again to kind of point out what I'm saying. Imagine things get sufficiently bad where basically everything's at zero. S&P 500's at zero. We're at a wild economy where everyone's stunned, and we're like, how could we, like, what the fuck happened? All these paper assets, something happened systemically and just they're all gone. But you could still go buy a house. There's still the United States of America, there's still each state, there's still each city, there's still civilization, there's still work to do. People still just, wake up, take a shower, there's running water, there's food in the fridge, you go to the market. Yeah, we're much worse off. We're much poorer now because we've had a huge systemic collapse in the financial system, but you could still go buy a house. Now, the house, how much is it going to be worth? Is it going to be worth as much as it is today? No, probably. You could probably 90% of the value is going to be gone off all houses, and it's going to be, you may not even be able to use dollars to buy it. You may need to use gold and silver to buy it in that case. Well, maybe you can buy a house for 10 ounces or 100 ounces of gold or 100 ounces of silver, 1,000 or 10,000 ounces of silver in that society. But we're assuming property rights still exist, police still exist, courts still exist, where you can enforce your property actually, and where you could buy it in the framework of civilization. Once you get past that point, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Can't you see? Can't you easily see that once you get past that point, it doesn't matter how much gold you have? Imagine I gave you all the gold in the world today. All the gold in the world today. I tossed you into a time machine and I sent your ass back 100,000 years. Now you're sitting there naked in a fucking random wilderness area with all the gold in the world. What's that gonna do for you, dude? What's that gonna do? Wouldn't a skill like lighting a fire, killing an animal, making some clothes, wouldn't those things be more useful for you? And when you come upon another human, when you find another tribe or another group or another community, and you say, hey, I have so much gold 100,000 years ago, and you say, I have so much gold, so much silver, so much platinum, come on, work for me, do something for me, let's talk. They come to that gold, they see it, and they're like, dude, we're hunter-gatherers, you fucking Goomba. Why would I need that gold? Why would I need that silver? They'll just kill you. Because you don't know shit. You can't even defend yourself. You're just a weak, pathetic person. A weak, pathetic person taken from a coddled environment and put into a harsh environment. The shit hits the fan scenario that a lot of silver bugs and gold bugs think about, it's quite similar to that scenario, the one where I sent your ass back in time. It's it's way more similar to that scenario than it is to anything that resembles civilization. So if you're dreaming of deep shit hits the fan scenarios, you should probably think about what skills would be useful in those scenarios, what things would be useful. And skills is the right word to say because there are not that many things that would be useful in those times. Not that many things. It would be skills that are going to be useful, like fighting, self-defense, and the ability to inflict harm on others, the ability to find food, the ability to find water and shelter, the ability to find water, shelter, and the ability to create shelter. Also, the ability to form bonds, communities, and to be able to operate in a way that's going to protect you and your loved ones in the context of a small tribe or community. If you don't have those skills, if you can't offer anything and you can't defend yourself, you can't even, and farming, of course, food, on the food side, farming is a big deal. So farming's a huge deal, and hunting and gathering. So if you don't have those skills, your gold's not going to save you. Your silver is not going to save you. It'd save you if you can go give the gold to someone and they'd give you food. But in a deep shit hits the fan scenario, that won't happen. When I toss you back in time, try. Why don't you try? Take a piece of gold and give it to, to a hungry hunter-gatherer. Even today, go to the jungle. There are hunter-gatherers that exist. Find one that's never seen gold, that doesn't care about gold, give it to them. Say, here, take it. Would you, and in return, give me that thing you caught for dinner. You're going to go take it to feed your family, feed your community? No, don't give it to them. I'll take it. What a deal. I'm giving you an ounce of gold circa November 2020. That's like 1800 bucks USD. And all I'm asking for is a little fucking piece of meat, right, that you caught. Something that's like worth 10 to 50, 10 to 100 bucks. That person wouldn't even dream for a second of giving you their food, their meat, their sustenance, that which will allow them to survive. They wouldn't give that to you. They would not give it to you for that gold. But in fact, if they thought the gold was valuable, they'd take it from you because you probably are a weak piece of shit that can't even defend yourself. They can't even defend yourself and your property in that true shit hits the fan scenario. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope you understand what I'm getting at here. Is that after a certain point, other things are more valuable, like seed, like shelter, the ability to create and find shelter, farming, knowledge, literal technical ability for farming. And if you've never farmed, if you've never grown a single thing in your life, you're a complete novice here, and you literally should. If you're imagining that there could be a shit defense scenario, even if there's a small probability to it, and you've never farmed, but you're collecting a bunch of silver, how can you be so deluded? What happened to you, dude? What the fuck? You think that you're buying silver, and you're not even, somebody's gonna come and fucking take it from you the first day when shit hits the fan. You're not gonna do shit about it, and then you're gonna be hungry, period. And even if somebody doesn't take it away, no one's gonna fucking trade their food for your silver in that deep shit hits the fan scenario. Past that threshold. Before that threshold, yes. Past it, no. So there needs to be a very strong attenuation of this desire we all have, of this thing we all have, where we imagine, oh, just because we have some gold, we're protected. No way. That needs to be attenuated. That needs to be restricted. That needs to be tempered by a really prudent, realistic knowledge of what's happening in the world, what could happen, of like the physics of things, of the reality of things, right? When you're just thinking the gold will save you, when you're just thinking the silver will save you, you're too disconnected from the reality of things. You need to be more connected to the reality of things to see, oh wow, wait a second, it's only going to take me so far. And then after a certain point, it's not going to take me anywhere at all. In fact, it would become a burden, right? In a deep shit hits the fan scenario, that silver, you're going to leave it behind. Maybe you'll take the gold because it's light, and maybe in the future you'll be able to use it. But if you need to get the fuck out of your house, you need to go somewhere, and you have a ton of silver with you, are you going to take the silver, or are you going to take your weapons? Are you going to take the silver, or are you going to take the seed? Are you going to take the silver, or are you going to take the water? Are you going to take the silver, or are you going to take the pets? Are you going to take the silver, or are you going to take the ponchos and raincoats and shelter stuffs? What are you going to take? Are you going to take everything? Maybe. Can you take everything? I don't know. But thinking that a metal that can't feed you, that can't sustain you, that can't shelter you, and that is literally a burden to carry and protect, thinking that will sustain you, you're deluded, and you need to be more connected with reality and with the real world, with the physical reality of being a human being in this world. Yeah, that's that.